Good morning, YouTubers. It's been revealed that Princess Anne is the royal that Meghan Markle claimed questioned baby Archie's skin color, and this is from Lady Colin Campbell. I'm not convinced that it is Princess Anne, so we're going to take a look at that. I mean, it may just be that the palace really took a look at who it could be. First, everybody was accusing Philip, and they said, "Oh, you better not accuse Philip." Then, they were just going down the line, trying to figure out who it was, and that's for maximum drama. And it could be that the palace just decided to pin it on Princess Anne. Has the truth finally come out? Princess Anne is apparently the royal that Meghan Markle claimed questioned her son's Archie's skin color. Lady Colin Campbell claims, quote, "I've spoken to this family friend, and we have both decided that the most judicious thing is that I reveal who the person is." Okay, that's what I'm saying, calculated. The most judicious thing is to reveal who this person is. Campbell, who married and then divorced Lord Colin Ivar Campbell. So she took his name and title, called Lady C Reveals. Okay. The fact of the matter is the person said nothing about Meghan's complexion, nothing about the color of her skin, nothing about her race, nothing about of the baby's skin and future baby, because this is a warning issued by a concerned member of the family. Lady Colin Campbell continued, Meghan was lying, and Harry was speaking the truth when he said that the conversation heavily spun by Meghan, incidentally and to an extent him, because she has managed to convince him that any criticism of her is based upon race, and he's so dumb that he actually swallowed the lie. That's kind of a convoluted sentence. So the story goes that the conversation happened between a palace member and Harry, okay, which gives it a lot more credence because, as Piers Morgan said, I don't believe a word that Meghan says. If she read me the weather report, I wouldn't believe it. Okay, so we have it that Harry is the one who had this conversation with another royal. Princess Anne objected Meghan's relationship with Harry she objected to Meghan's relationship with Harry. There were concerns whether Harry should marry Meghan. I think those concerns have borne out in spades. I think Meghan will divorce Harry. I think she's hanging on to him right now and still love bombing him 2 years into the relationship, but treating everyone else horribly. And so everyone else quits. And it's only a matter of time before Meghan starts treating Harry as horribly as she treats everyone else. Princess Anne objected to the fact that Meghan was a fragrant operator. What does that mean? Fragrant operator. A big pile of poo is in my mind. She could see her coming a mile off. She thought there was something bizarre about Meghan. Some of those are my words, some are not. Some are Princess Anne's words, I gather, Campbell stated. It just turned the princess off. So there were concerns. Obviously, if you're going to marry somebody, you need to be very careful about who you're marrying because this is supposed to be a bond for life, even though it's not in our current society. So is that really marriage? I say no. Marriage is a bond for life. But it's very important who you choose to be married to. Very, very important. And so there should be a lot of discussion among family members, and everybody should work together on this. And that's not what Hollywood says, but that's what should be done, and that's how it was done, and that's how marriages were successful in the past. Princess Anne also objected to the fact that Meghan was superficially and so culturally ignorant. Campbell continued. She made her feelings very clear, and she said she did not think Harry should marry Meghan Markle. So she was against the marriage. That's what's going on. She thought that everyone going along with it was making a great mistake because she was going to turn out to be nothing but trouble. Truer words never spoken. There were concerns about Meghan. There were no concerns about Meghan's skin color. Princess Anne was rightly concerned that if the marriage proceeded and there were children, there would be huge problems, not because of Meghan's skin color, but because of Meghan's inability and determination to remain unable to appreciate the cultural differences and to actually have respect for the institution into which she was marrying and the family into which she was marrying. From the moment Meghan became a royal, all she did was oppose everything the royal family stood for and stand on the other side for all of the, quote, minorities, for women and minorities. Women are 52% of the population. They're not a minority. Here's the statement from the Queen. You've heard it before, but I want to read it again. The whole family is saddened to learn the full extent of how challenging the last few years have been for Meghan and Harry. Sympathy. The issues raised, particularly that of race, are concerning. While some recollections may vary, okay, what she says is not necessarily the truth, saith the Queen. They are taken very seriously and will be addressed by the family privately. Harry, Meghan, and Archie will always be much loved family members. She tried to take it out of the public sphere and turn it into a personal matter, and rightly so. Good day, YouTubers. Welcome back to my channel. Time for a spot of royalty. So they're pinning it on Princess Anne. Princess Anne is 70. They're pinning the Archie conversation, the skin color conversation on Princess Anne. She's 70. She's from two generations back. I believe a generation is 30 years officially. So, you know, there's a lot of validity to the generational thing. So was it Princess Anne or is it someone else? I don't believe that this. I believe that the characterization of the conversation is completely false. I don't believe that there was any malice intended. I don't believe that there is any racism associated with it. I believe it's a complete mischaracterization and a lie. But it's possible that somebody had this conversation with Harry. The whole thing just seems very calculated to me to create as much drama as possible. And Meghan is the drama queen. I think she's has histrionic personality disorder. So was it Princess Anne or are they just pinning it on her? Ew, goodness. We have a yes. Interesting cards, some very dark cards here in the middle. Was it Princess Anne or are they just pinning it on her? Snake and lying and bad relationship and man. This man is probably Harry. The other woman, a different woman, malicious, angry, vengeful, and bad relationship. 12, okay, it's 25, 31, 8 clubs, city. So telling the whole world. I think, like I said, I think this is a mischaracterization of what was said. It's a lie about what this woman said. The man is lying about what this woman said. So was it Princess Anne? I'm going to say yes. Connected to the family. Straight razor and son exposed, suddenly exposed. So I think there was a conversation, and I think it was Princess Anne that had this conversation with Harry, the man. Solid cornerstone and outside events, kind of exposing it to the world. I'm going to say it was Princess Anne, but the characterization of the conversation is false. Okay, it's twisted into this terrible thing. So let's ask, was the intention malicious? Okay, because what Lady Colin Campbell said is it was about Princess Anne was against Harry marrying Meghan. So was the intention, let's just look at Princess Anne and Harry, was the intention malicious? And see what's going on Harry's side. Princess Anne and Harry. Wow. Do we see any malicious intention? Well, roadblock and devastated in the family. 17, so this is 12, 22, 6 diamonds, all the people. So Harry was very upset by this conversation. He was very upset about it. But cross is the marriage card. And it's said, Lady Colin Campbell said that Princess Anne was against Harry marrying Meghan. I think she's right. I think Meghan has been nothing but trouble. And she didn't stay in the royal family but a year. And she was constant trouble the entire time and never got on
never got on board with the program. She was always opposed, trying to be like queen and run everything. Veil, that's interesting. Mustard seed messages about the family. 11, 12, conflict. Conflicting secrets and conflicting messages about the family. So she was concerned about him marrying her. And it is the job of family members to voice their concerns and have conversations about this. We're bringing this person into the family. This person is, whether they divorce or not, Meghan is going to be a permanent family member. And what I'm seeing in the cards is she's still love bombing Harry. She feels she needs Harry, and so she's hanging on to him. She's mistreating everyone around her, but she's treating Harry wonderfully, and Harry's not buying it anymore. He realizes that it's just she's wearing a mask, and that's not what she really feels, and it's just a matter of time before he starts getting the short end of that stick, which I think she's absolutely destroying him. She's destroying him with a smile on her face and loving words, but she's absolutely destroying his life. Cup overflowing in Magi, 23, 6 clubs. He was very emotional about manifesting this family. So I think she was against the marriage. Here's the marriage in the middle, and he was devastated by this. And I think she was kind of maybe clear or even a little blunt. But she tried to be subtle. You know, we got the veil here. She was talking to him about family and bringing, messages about family, bringing her into the family. And he was very emotional about it and maybe very set on it. Maybe Harry is not a very deep thinker. I don't think Harry is a deep thinker. I think he kind of flies by the seat of his pants, and he may make his decisions more intuitively, more emotionally. Meghan and or Harry, did they intentionally twist the circumstances of the incident? Okay, because I think it did happen. I think it is Princess Anne. There was a conversation. It was Princess Anne. I think it was about marriage. I think it was about Harry marrying Meghan. Did they intentionally twist the incident to fit their narrative, Harry and Meghan, to make them look bad? They're the bad people. We have a no. We have conflict. There's the devil. Did Harry and Meghan intentionally twist this to make it worse? The devil is a big liar. The devil is the worst liar. Broken chalice over the entire situation. Cornucopia is all things material or money. They were cut off monetarily, cut off, and the money is, they're cut off from the money, and so they're very angry about it, all the people and the ruler. So they wanted to hurt the royal family in front of the world because they were cut off financially. Let's add this up. 24, 30, 40, 10 spades. They're devastated, 10 spades. They're devastated by the fact that they are cut off monetarily, and so they would do anything to hurt the royal family. So did they intentionally twist? Conflict, no, and olive tree. Full stop. They're not part of the family anymore, and this is a conflict. 12, 18, they're being removed from the royal family like Edward was. Edward left his kingship, which was a terrible idea, and he went gallivanting off with Wallace Simpson, and then he was immediately sending his brother, who assumed the throne. He kept telling him to do this, telling him to do that, until the royal family said, stop giving advice, you're not king anymore. Okay, and then he lived a life of, nothing, ignominy, just hiding out. Terrible. So they're very upset about the money. They're very upset about the money. That's what I'm seeing. And they're very upset about no longer being part of the royal family, which, they left the royals. What are you expecting? Was it Meghan's purpose in not naming the person that is Anne. Okay, and this is a good move. This is a good calculated move. They're trying to the royals are trying to put this behind them, and so they're naming the party so that people can say, oh, okay, and they can reason it out themselves. Okay, well, she's older. Well, it wasn't really about his skin color. It was about, Harry marrying Meghan. That's a whole lot more reasonable. Of course, they're going to talk about that. The whole family's going to be talking about that, and they need to be talking about that. And there's generational differences, and then it can pass away, and people can stop talking about it. That's what they're doing. Was Meghan and Harry, was it a calculated decision to leave open, not name the person to create as much controversy as possible? Who said that? Who was that? And they're wondering, and people speculate, and people talk among themselves, and it creates a bigger problem, which is what I think they were doing. Did they do that on purpose? Did Meghan and Harry do that on purpose to leave it open to create as much speculation as possible? The public talking to the highest place, raising it to the highest place. Jack of Diamonds and Queen of Diamonds, player and fox. They're making a play, and this is a very clever move to create the situation, raise it to the highest place, and make it as public as possible. They knew that this accusation, above all, would be the biggest accusation. And remember the video. It was very dramatic. Oprah said, "What? What did they say? Who said what?" And there was long, pregnant pauses, very dramatic. They knew that this was going to knock that ball out of the park, and the whole world was going to be in an uproar. They knew. But it's a big gamble. If people don't end up on the side of Harry and Meghan, then it's going to work against them. It's a huge gamble. That was an attempt at a home run hit. And initially, they created so much drama, it did look like a home run hit. And I'm not so sure anymore. So on the surface, we have woman, handcuffs, and coffin. Woman secretly committed to this, 18, on an ongoing basis. Yeah, she's committed to completely destroying the royal family. Was this a calculated decision to create as much controversy? She's not going to, Meghan's not going to stop. And this was specifically a play to create, to get it out in the whole world and raise this issue above all others. That Archie's not a prince because he's being treated differently. That's a lie. Okay, Archie is not being treated differently. When he becomes a grandchild, when Charles ascends the throne, Archie becomes a prince. Okay, and not before. He's not in the line of succession yet. And when Charles ascends the throne, he becomes a prince. Okay, so there's no funny business with Archie's title. I think he's a lord. Okay, it is beyond the realm of possibility that Meghan was denied or refused mental health treatment. Harry is in treatment for a long time. They run several charities benefiting mental health. It's just not true. This is not true. It's a lie. She talked about she was being trapped in the palace. She couldn't go out. It is documented fact. She flew to New York City. She was all over the place all the time, meeting with lots of people. People were coming in. She was going out. It's not true. She said there was no support in the palace, that she was silenced. That's not true. Okay, on an unprecedented scale for anyone coming into the palace, Meghan was the resources of the entire royal palace were given to Meghan, and this is just another one. So it's just not true. Feelings are not facts. Her feelings are not facts, and she's mischaracterizing everything. So what do we have here? Okay. Was Princess Anne the one? Yes, but it's a lie. It is Princess Anne, but it's a lie. A conversation did happen. Was it a malicious conversation? No, it was about she was concerned about Harry marrying Meghan. Okay, that was the issue. If the royals don't want a person of color in the royal palace, why would they bring Meghan into the family? Okay, obviously they're going to have mixed children and they want them to have children. So how could that possibly be a problem? The decision was made long before Archie showed up on the scene. So that doesn't make sense. So she was concerned about, rightly so, about Harry marrying Meghan. And if it's the other girl, Chelsea Davy, who is beautiful and has a wonderful spirit, they would have the same conversation. And Chelsea Davy is from Africa, so we could say that Chelsea Davy is African. Chelsea Davy is a whole lot more African than Meghan is. Okay. And number 3, did Meghan intentionally twist? Did they twist the incident? Yeah, we have the devil. The devil will lie. The devil is a liar, and it's all about the money. They're upset about being cut off from the royal family, the conflict with the royal family, and losing the money. And so they just want to strike out at the royals. And finally, was this a calculated decision to create as much controversy as possible? Meghan actually is committed to destroying the family. She's committed to ending the royal family. And yes, they made a play to make this as public as possible. So, yes to all. So something did happen. If you're going to tell mistruths, untruths, there needs to be a seed of truth to it. But it was so calculated how it was done. It seemed on its face that it wasn't what it appeared to be. That's how I see it. I'm Joseph Magi, author of Playing Card Divination Fortune Telling, The Magi Method. Find the book worldwide on Amazon and Kindle and paperback versions. Find the full color card deck used here on Etsy/Magi Method. Many thanks to the generous folks who've contributed to my tea fund. Please feel free to like, share, subscribe, and comment.